Hello, Hawkeye fans. This is Ben McCullum, the head coach of the Iowa men's basketball team. Returning to Iowa City as the head coach is a dream come true. The passion of Iowa fans is unmatched, and I'm incredibly excited to get started on this new journey together. I look forward to seeing our fans on campus across the state and throughout the nation. Here's to big things coming and an exciting future ahead. Go Hawks!
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Former All-Big Ten and All-Pro defensive back and special teams performer Micah Hyde excelled on the football field for Iowa, in Green Bay, and Buffalo. Hyde is now pouring most of his time into raising a young family with wife Amanda and giving back to the communities that help mold the person we now see. Hyde has had his own foundation since his classroom days at Iowa, helping institutions like Stead Family Children's Hospital. Micah Hyde plans a big fundraiser this July at Finkbine Golf Course in Iowa City, featuring present and former Hawkeyes. We caught up with Hyde recently at his home in San Diego for a career review.
I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it. Obviously, the kids are keeping us busy. They have their school stuff and sports and all that, and then we're also doing a lot of nonprofit stuff on the side, and our own separate businesses that we have. So I am staying busy, and I knew that obviously this day would come, and I wanted to load the schedule with plenty of things and not worry and focus on football and not really have any time to miss it.
Let's go back a few years to Fostoria, Ohio, where your passion for the game of football was first realized. You were a very talented high school quarterback. Not many people probably know that or remember that. But you did run and throw for over 10,000 career yards, 65 touchdown passes, set 17 school records. Who better to play in the defensive secondary than a guy who's worn the quarterback's helmet, huh? How much did that help you, Micah, in your college and pro careers?
A lot. And I said to this day, you got parents, we all know that keep their kids, playing one sport or, focused on, just defense when it comes to football or whatever. I think the best thing that happened to me throughout my career was, growing up playing so many different sports. And then in high school, not coming off the field. I'm from a small town in Ohio, so I didn't really have a choice. I had to play, every single snap, and I had to punt, I had to kick, I had to do all that stuff. But I really believe that helped me get to where I am, just playing in the league and playing in the NFL and being able to understand what quarterbacks see and how to dissect a defense. Speaking as a quarterback, and then transitioning over to defense. Knowing that and knowing what the quarterback sees and what what the offensive coordinator is trying to do, I just think it helped me throughout my career.
In addition, Micah Hyde was a special team star at Iowa, then an all-Big Ten safety and cornerback with the Hawkeyes. Micah, you went on to win the Tatum Woodson Award. That goes annually to the top D-back in the conference. And coordinator Phil Parker, more than an irony that himself was a star defensive back at one time up at Michigan State. And by the way, a fellow Ohio native. He had you figured out early on, Micah. Phil knew you'd be a versatile but immediate plug-and-play guy, and he was correct. You started every game for 3 consecutive seasons. Talent plus durability, that's quite a combination. But you took Phil's challenge and ran with it, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure. I remember him coming into to my high school, and he visited a few times, and Iowa, Iowa was there throughout the whole recruiting process. I didn't know I was going to get an offer, and until I was there that last weekend before signing day. But Coach Parker was there all the time, and I remember we sat down one time. I had a highlight tape to show him, try to persuade him that I deserved a scholarship to go to Iowa. And, I was playing quarterback, so it was a bunch of offensive plays and stuff like that. I remember he cut the tape and he stopped me. Like, do you have any defensive plays on here? And I was like, well, I'm predominantly a quarterback. When I'm playing corner, it's just me and the receiver. He's not really catching the ball, so I don't really have any highlights for defense. But Coach Parker definitely challenged me once I stepped foot on campus and playing defense, playing corner, mixing up a little bit at safety, but. Without him, man, I really don't believe. Without him and Coach Ferentz and Coach Woods and Coach Wilson and all the guys that coached me throughout my college career, man, I really believe that that place is unique, man. It develops NFL talent, and you see it all the time with guys getting drafted and being successful in the league. I just appreciate everything they did for me.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
This is the sound of grilling season. It's time to get back to cookouts, to gathering with friends and family, and making memories. And with Hy-Vee's lower prices on thousands of items all over the store, you can still get the best quality meat and everything else you need for your barbecues at prices that will make you smile. Get back to grilling for less, with a little help from Hy-Vee.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments, they're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment, committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care, and service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way, so you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
There's a new head Hawk in town. Ben McCullum is entering his first season as the Iowa men's basketball coach. McCullum is striving to continue his winning ways in Iowa City. Join us for the new era of Iowa basketball. Reserve your season tickets for the 2025-26 season today. Give us a call at 1-800-IA-HAWKS to learn more. On Iowa, go Hawks.
Yeah, year after year, you're exactly right. And Phil Parker surrounded you, to your point, with skillful and accomplished defensive teammates, especially in the backfield. I think of Tyler Sash and Brett Greenwood, Amari Spivey, Sean Prater, B.J. Lowry, Tanner Miller. I mean, not to mention the guys in front of you, Anger, Eads, Claiborne, Klug. They allowed you to freelance and take some chances, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I, early on my freshman year, being able to look at the upperclassmen and see how they worked and see how they played, and we won the Orange Bowl that year. So it was, the expectations, not only for myself but for our team was pretty high at that point. And it was just a fun time being in Iowa City, man. I really appreciated what those older guys did for me, and we still have a good relationship, to this day. Whenever I see Pat, whenever I see AJ, whenever I see Moyaki, all the upperclassmen that were seniors when I was a freshman, it's just nothing but love, man. And I truly blessed to be able to call those guys friends, because they could have been seniors and cared less about this little freshman that was out there trying to make a name for himself. But they genuinely care about me, and it's mutual.
Great teammates, no doubt. Then you move on to a great pro career. The Green Bay Packers drafted you in the 5th round of the 2013 draft, where you excelled in the secondary and returning punts. And after 4 years in Green Bay, you signed a free agent deal with the Buffalo Bills and Coach Sean McDermott. And Micah Hyde continued his regular trips to the postseason. As vital, Micah, as stout defenses are to winning championships, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, it sure helped to have quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen driving the bus, huh?
Yes, it did. Showing up in Green Bay as a rookie, and that was a well-oiled machine. Like, they already won a Super Bowl a few years before, so they were clicking on all cylinders. So all I had to do was just go there and just do my job. And I'm looking back at that whole situation, I wish I would have played more defense. I wish they would have, given me the opportunity to get out there and spin a little more, get some more snaps. But special teams wise, man, I was loving it, man. And I feel like, it's kind of the same thing that happened to me at Iowa is make a name on special teams and get on defense. And so that's kind of what happened to me in Green Bay. And returning punts, returning kicks, personal protector, doing all that type of stuff. And then, making my way over to Buffalo and really making a name for myself. And they gave me, Sean McDermott gave Poe and I the keys to the defense and said, do it, like make your calls, get everybody lined up. And that was just a awesome situation I was able to be in for 8 years.
Yeah, Sean has done a phenomenal job in Buffalo. Mike McCarthy was your coach in Green Bay, and I bring those two up, great names in coaching. And here Kirk Ferentz will become college football's all-time winningest coach, hopefully in early September. Only Woody Hayes is in front of Kirk. That is a head shaker. Do you remember your commitment trip to Iowa and therefore what sets Kirk Ferentz apart?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like Iowa was there the entire time. I wanted to go Big Ten. I'm an Ohio kid, and I'm right in between Ohio State and Michigan. And so I remember going down to Ohio State. They didn't show any interest to me. They didn't talk to me at all. I was getting some interest from Michigan, but they picked up Denard Robinson over me. I was like, who's this guy? And he ended up having a great Big Ten career. But I definitely wanted to go Big Ten. And then once my brother was at Michigan State, I didn't really want to follow him. But Iowa came along. They offered me. I was already out in Iowa City. We were at Coach Ferentz's house. Was able to sit down with him and meet him. And I always heard good things. My head coach in high school, Tom Grimes, went to Iowa also, and he was a captain there back in the day. And so he always kind of put in my ear, hey, just pay attention to Iowa, pay attention to Iowa. So when I stepped on campus for the first time, I was already kind of introduced to it. And once I got that offer, it was a no-brainer. Having conversations with Coach Parker, I just knew that it was best for me. And, I'm just so thankful that happened, and I haven't looked back since.
So present day, Micah Hyde, other than watching your kids grow up and supporting Amanda's artistic talents, hey, you can't sit at home all day. I know you're thinking ahead. Tell us about this golf fundraiser you have planned for later this summer in Iowa City.
Yeah. So we're doing, I always knew that once I got done playing football and finally retired, that I was going to dive more into our nonprofit, Imagine for Youth, which actually I was able to start at the University of Iowa. And so full circle moment, the same class, same professor that I started the foundation in is running the July 11th charity golf event, the charity golf classic, whatever they're calling it. So that's like a full circle moment because it's pretty cool. So the kids in the class are for the last 2 semesters we're helping with that, getting sponsors and doing everything. So July 11th, it's going to be some former players versus some current players, and go out there. All the proceeds go to the Children's Hospital on campus. And so we're looking to generate as much money as possible to be able to help some families out over there. And so, what better place to do it than Iowa City and the class that I started the foundation in. So it's pretty cool to be able to do that.
More details forthcoming about Micah Hyde's July 11th golf fundraiser for charity in the weeks ahead. Hyde concluded his 12-year NFL career with 644 tackles, 24 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries, and 5 touchdowns. Iowa baseball, the 3 seed at this week's Big Ten tournament in Omaha, will play Saturday after defeating Rutgers in pool play 4-3. This week, 8 Hawks earned all Big Ten recognition. They include first-team picks juniors Kate Obermuller and Aaron Savory, and sophomore Reese Moore. Senior Reese Buter and grad student Daniel Rogers are second-team selections. Senior Ben Wilmus landed a third-team slot, while Jackson Frost was named to the all-freshman team. Redshirt freshman Max Burt is Iowa's sportsmanship recipient. That's it for this week's Fight for Iowa podcast. Happy Memorial Day, and thank you, veterans, men and women of the United States military. I'm Gary Dolphin. Go Hawks.
You've been listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. Until next time, on Iowa, and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.